today I gonna discuss 1920 historical pandemic, the Spanish flu. This is one of the natural disasters. The 1920 influenza pandemic was the most severe pandemic in the recent history, and so the infected estimated of 500 million people. So mean one third population of India all over the globe, and it's killed approximately 70 to 50 million peoples, and possibly as much as high up to 100 million people. This virus was first observed in Europe, United States, and some parts of Asia. Some major rules and right was taken to tackle the circumstances that times. School, business and theater was totally shuttered, and the citizen were ordered to wear masks before spreading all over the world, and quarantine, isolations, personal hygienic use of disinfectant, limitation of the personal gatherings was applied unevenly. The main things, do you know that, did you know that the pandemic 1990, the New York City Health Commissioner tried to slow down the transmission of the flu by ordering the business open and close on a staggered shift to avoid the overcrowding on the subway. So this virus is main thing. So what is the flu? Main question is came to what is the flu? The flu is the flu is a virus that definitely attack the respiratory system of the humans. This virus highly contagious. When infected persons coughs, sneeze, and talks, this the respiratory droplet are generated and transmitted into the air. Additionally, a person who touches something with the virus on it and their touches each or her mouth, eyes, or nose can be infected. This virus came around the world in a two way. The first wave of the 1920 pandemic occurred in the spring, and it was the mild symptoms. The first, it was generally infected the old and child person, and the person who was sick and experienced such a typical flu symptom, chill, fever, fatigue, and recover after several days. The mortality rate was so low, 10% that time. That was normal. On the other hand, the second wave, 1980 H1 virus had been synthesized and evaluated by the environment. The poverty made it so devastating, and that was not well understood. It started infecting 20 to 14 year youth peoples, and the globe is turned into desert because of the monster virus. Also, it was the 1 crore people lost their life in India, and so first is entered into the Mumbai city. Why was it called the Spanish flu? Spanish flu didn't originate in Spain, but through the news coverage of Spain did it. During the First World War, the Spain was a neutral country with a free media that covered up the outbreak from the start, and first reporting on it in Madrid in late of March 1918. So meanwhile, the Allied country and center of power had a wartime censor who covered up the news of the flu of the source to keep it morale high, because the Spanish source was only one news that was reporting this about this disease. So many Spanish people, also Britain sprays blame for that this virus had originated from the Spain. Some Spanish people believe that it originated from the France. This is the France virus. Also, many scientists have still now didn't know that what is the exact origin of this virus, and so theories point of this Britain, France, China also, where this case, the first case was reported in Foston camp in Fort Relay, Kansas on the March 11, 1908. Some believe that infected soldier that helped to spread all the virus all over the globe, and in March 1918, 84,000 American soldiers headed across the Atlantic. So next question, what is the lesson? My main aim, what is the lesson from it? in our generation. So it has lack of the future preparation for the globe. In our globes, different type of the flu outbreak keep on happening in our planet, and very in a severity, depending in the what type of the virus is spreading, like 1956 flu pandemic, 1968 flu pandemics. So Spanish flu came around the world during the last month of the First World War, and it resulted a shortage of doctors and nurses all over, and financial crisis all over the globe. And so Central Power and the Allied Power kept focusing wartime censor, and they provided the false news to the common people in order to tackle the situation. That was a normal virus. So such kind of the mistakes should be avoided in a future reference. Sometime it was repeated in our generation for the COVID-19 monster in COVID-19. According to the US President Donald Trump, WHO and China is mostly responsible to spread this virus all over the globe, in COVID-19 all over the globe. So it resulted we can see in our eyes that the COVID-19 spread all over the world. So such kind of the mistakes should be avoided. This is my main aim. So please subscribe my channel and like my video and stay updated with me.